With the recent release of the revenue chart of how Genshin has actually not lost that much, about 10 million per se, not really as much as we would think, with the boycott that has happened, I kind of wanted to talk about something that I saw during the boycott that kind of like hit me a little bit, not in the sense of like anything bad, but there was some stuff on a list of things I saw from a video from somebody, as well as the reaction video from Tectone that they made of this person, that really stuck out. Now, bear in mind, I will be talking about this guy's video that he is now deleted, but that does not mean I agree with the points of his video that he made, and even they looked at it and said that they don't agree with it anymore. But I wanted to preface that because you probably know what video I'm talking about once we actually dive into it with a little bit of backstory. However, there were some things that were mentioned in this video that I wanted to really talk about, and then also mentioned within my comments section recently, which has kind of like stirred a little bit in me on like getting my opinions out there of Genshin Impact. So today we're going to be talking about that. Before we get into it though, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below, hit that notification bell to be notified when the next Genshin Impact video comes out, and of course leave a comment. Would love to hear y'all's opinions on this. And don't forget, I'm sponsored by the ever wonderful Gamer Subs. Use code Tystra for 10% off. Now let's go ahead and dive into the video. Now, as you can see here, we're on a channel called Moharib. Now, if you don't know what video I'm talking about, right? Moharib made a video about boycotting Genshin and Honkai Star Rail because their reasoning in this video was, if you're going to give money to Honkai Star Rail instead of Genshin Impact, then you're not helping the issue, which I highly disagree with, but that's not the point of this video. They came up with some points in the video that, in my opinion, did not make any sense. But there was one thing that came up, which was a list that they made of fixes they wanted to see in Genshin. Now, granted, we also saw that Tectone covered this video, and I'm not going to be going over any of the crazy stuff that actually went on in that video, because there are some takes in that video that even Moharib was just like, no, we're not doing that. But I did want to go ahead and kind of get into an image that I saw that was made in the video, which is right here. Obviously, I'm not playing it in the video right now, but we're gonna go ahead and keep his screen on there, because I will say this list is actually pretty decent. So let's go ahead and talk about this fixed Genshin Impact list, right? Because I really want to talk about this. So first things first, birthday banners. I think that a birthday banner doesn't entirely like... It makes sense, but I don't think that's something that needs to be fixed for Genshin Impact. I think the rewards for birthdays are decent because, again, you're really just celebrating a birthday of a character, and pretty soon we're gonna have a day or a birthday for every like day of the whole month. So at this point, I'm really just like, it's whatever. Birthday banners are not like a thing for me. Separate weapon banners for both limited time weapons is never going to happen, and I don't think that's going to entirely fix Genshin Impact. I think the only thing that you could really do is go with the new banner staple that they have, that instead of 2 fates needed, 1 fate is needed, and then that way, you know, you can kind of just be like, okay, at least I get the weapon that I want after 1 summon. I don't think separate weapon banners really is going to help. I know that Honkai Star Rail does it, but I don't think it really like fixes the issue entirely. So yeah, I mean, but it could work. It's not something that I think is like impossible. I don't think it'll I think you could do either or, to be quite honest, though, is either separate the banners or make it 1 fate point instead. So triple banners we just got news in 4.5 we're getting another banner. However, my whole thing is that I don't even think that triple banners were entirely needed. I think that when it came to banners, I think they just needed to add to the blue fate, or, you know, the regular standard banner. I think that they should have just added the characters that they brought in to that banner into the standard banner 100%, because I think that having another banner like this is literally just for whales, and it's not fair. And this is coming from a whale himself. I haven't whaled in Genshin since 4.3 now because of the whole boycott, but I digress. I think that this would have been a good idea in the sense of like, yeah, triple banners could be cool, but I think that what would have been better for this is to put old units into the standard banner. So A way to save artifact sets as a preset, 100%. That's actually something that a lot of people were talking about with the recent update, thinking that we would get that in 4.5, which I highly believed we would as well, which I'm again very surprised that we didn't. But you know, at the same time, I'm not freaking out about it personally. I think that we could have gotten it, but it is what it is, right? Now, this is one that I think definitely needs to happen because we see it with Honkai Star Rail. The artifact reroll for main stats and substats. We see it in main stats, we don't see it in substats, but I think that artifact rerolling should have been a thing already. And I'm very surprised that they haven't even gone that route. It's something I truly feel would make the game state a little bit better, because a lot of us who are grinding these artifacts for every character, like for me right now, I'm grinding for Chiori because I have a lot of free to play summons right now. I think that in all honesty, if they were to like make artifact rerolling a thing, it would make building these characters a lot easier, and a lot of people would have more fun with the game in general. Now again, that would take some time away from the people who spend a lot of time, you know, 5,000 to 7,000 hours of Genshin Impact. But I also think that it would give us enough time to actually build these characters in an appropriate amount of time without just focusing on just that, you know what I mean? Break rare materials down. I don't think that fixes Genshin Impact personally, but it is what it is. Talent Ascension domains should be available every day. I 100% agree. I don't understand why we have to separate them by day. I think that they should just be available every single day. It's stupid that it's not. Ability to fight weekly bosses multiple times a week. We do have that, but I know what he meant, or Mohar meant by this, was to be able to get rewards from weekly bosses more than once a week. And I agree. Honkai Star Rail, perfect example. You could go up to 3 times a week, and if you want to do one specific weekly boss, you could do that one specific weekly boss. And I think that that should have been a thing implemented across all the games. 240 resin plus reserved resin system, 100% agree. 100% agree. That should just be a thing. World quest navigations, ability to use condensed resin for overworld bosses. I could see that. I could definitely see that as a thing. I wouldn't be against it. I would not at all be against it because that'd make the grind even faster. But I digress. I don't think that's gonna happen, to be honest. World quest navigation from reputation centers. I don't know. I can't really say that I've been, you know, upset about my world quest navigations. So I can't really say that that's something that'll fix the game. Collecting all items at once, 100% agree. I'm tired of pressing X on a controller multiple times just to get everything. And when I do that, I could also, like, let's say I'm doing my freaking why am I blanking on this? My ley lines, and I'm only doing the 10 a day because I don't want to actually claim their rewards. Sometimes I'll accidentally use one of my condensed resins for it because I'm trying to get all the items around it. So that would be cool if we could actually get that going. More artifacts and material storage space, 100%. I am so sick and tired of maxing out my artifact space. Material space is whatever, but artifact space specifically irritates me because I can never ever actually get it fully done, right? More space in Serenity Pot, 100%. I actually funny enough, there was a comment that said you need skill for the Serenity Pot, and there are some very skillful people out there when it comes to designing, which is really cool. However, I do think that the space in Serenity Pot, the limited amount of space, is not entirely needed. I think that being able to expand that space would actually make it a lot more fun for people to actually be able to build. Now, am I saying that builds can't be amazing with the limited amount of space? Absolutely not, because I think that a lot of people can make very, very good builds in Serenity Pot, and I've seen them myself. However, I don't think it's necessary to limit the amount of space you got. Honestly, we haven't had a good update in Serenity Pot in many patches. And to be very frank and very clear, because this is part of an argument that I had with somebody as well, if you truly think that an update is just new furniture to Serenity Pot, if you think that's a good update, you're you are looking through some tinted glasses, man. I could not in the slightest call that an update. MC should be able to change elements in overworld. Yes, I don't understand why we have to go to a statue of 7 to change our element. There is no reason for it. Make TCG a completely separate game. It's tough, man, because I think that's true. I think that TCG should be a separate game. For me, I was so hype about TCG at first, and I loved playing TCG. Now it just became such a chore, and the constant new cards with not a lot of time to actually like get the points that you need, it just gets kind of annoying. So for me, I think that it should have been a separate game. I definitely agree with that. Make Teyvat interactive map a part of the in-game map. I absolutely agree. I do not want to go to a website just to freaking get the stupid freaking materials list. Now, what I think they could do to give people incentive to 100% areas is to, once you 100% a certain area, you get the interactive map part. Now, granted, that might be more difficult for some people, and I 100% understand if people disagree with me on that take, but I feel as though that could have been a reward for players who are going out of their way to, like, you know, actually do that. 5-star Imbibitor Lune Layla, no. This guy's coping. As you guys see, this guy is a massive fan of Layla. He really, really is. Like in the video that I watched of his after the whole fiasco, he had like the Layla crying emoji all over the thing. So good on you. Layla's a great waifu. So I'll take that. Skip button and a way to watch cutscenes later. I 100% agree. Half of the time, the only cutscenes and everything that I actually pay attention to is to the main story. I really don't care about the side quests. And I know that people will probably be like, but Tysra, how could you say you're a Genshin Impact fan if you're not going to pay attention to every single piece of dialogue? Because I just don't care. I want to know the main story. Man, I'll look up the lore later. I usually do. Like, look at me with Nikke. I look up the lore and I'm like, oh shoot, I like the Nikke lore, but I want it condensed. You know, it's just not my thing. If I really want to know the lore behind the fact that we're, you know, making these dishes with Chef Mao for the other, you know, Patreons, then yeah, sure, I'll look up something about it. But honestly, most of the time, I don't care about these other cutscenes. 5-star or 5-star standard banner selector. We should have gotten that a long time ago. Genshin Impact is not very rewarding to its player base, and I truly think that's the case. A lot of people might disagree with me. I'm sure there's a couple of people even recently that would disagree with being rewarded in Genshin Impact. However, the facts are facts. You look at other gacha games compared to Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact doesn't even come close to like the top 10 most rewarding, in my personal opinion. But that's just me. Toggleable constellations, yes! This would make it so people could actually use a C5 Bennett even though they awaken C6. So even though right now, honestly, the more that I've played, C6 Bennett is not as bad as it used to be. But I will say it would be better if I had the ability to not have to use C6 Bennett. 10 Intertwined Fates login event every patch. Yes, they should be doing this. They should have done this a long time ago. They've shown that they can, and 10 Fates doesn't do anything to hurt them, in my personal opinion. So honestly, I think it's kind of ridiculous that they haven't done that every patch. They do it like almost every 2 patches. Fix Dia. Yes, fixing Dia needs to happen still. Making her limited though, not so much. I think that she's perfectly fine as a standard banner unit, but what I want is like a reason to want Dia. I think that like with the recent additions of certain characters, it makes it a little bit better to use Dia and gives you reason to use her. However, I don't think that she's up to what she needs to be. Permanent co-op content. Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna have co-op, we should be able to have some sort of events that work with co-op. Like, give us the freaking, give us like weekly co-op missions that would be like, you have to play with your friends. I mean, shocker. You could either go do like double artifacts weekend. You play with your friends, you get double the artifacts, or you're playing what is it, freaking prop hunt. You play prop hunt, you get double companionship rewards when you're playing with your friends. So like you could go in there with, like, let's say for me, I'm at a companionship 5 gobbing, go there with gobbing, get double the rewards of being able to play, or get some companionship level. I think that'd be sick. That'd be such a cool way to like make it so that people actually want to play together. So make major limited time events permanent. I don't know. I don't know about that one, because the whole point is for a limited time. I think what they need to do is take, and this comes to a thing that is a little bit lower, a way to get limited time weapons like Dodo Coattails, Festering Desires, and all that later on. I think that needs to happen, but I don't know if making major limited time events permanent is the way to go. I don't think it's like a big thing. But I do think that there should be a way for us to go back to those events in some way, shape, or form and kind of look at what happens if that's what people are into, kind of like how Honkai Star Rail does it. Make Golden Apple Archipelago and Verulium Mirage permanent. I think that'd be cool. I wouldn't be against it. Like, but then again, the file size of this game is going to be a lot bigger, and I'd rather not deal with that. More endgame content. Simulated universe ripoff, survival floors with local legends, exploration type endgame content. I agree. Just kind of like what I was talking about, make the exploration a thing for the map, to be able to like have the interactive map and stuff. I think would be really cool. But I digress. I don't think that these are out of the realm of possibility. I do think there's plenty of other things that they could do to make this better. But I did want to touch up on a couple other things too that somebody brought up in my comments section, though I think that most of their comments are just kind of, ugh, it was bothersome in the slightest. They said weekly bosses, don't limit them to once. I agree. Artifacts, multi setups for characters, I agree to that. Constellation, give us toggleable constellations, yes. Skins, I think that they need to capitalize on more skins, because of the fact that, you know, a lot of these skins we see in the collabs, and I think that that's really, really good. So yeah, increase condensed resin cap, we already talked about that. Give us more search filter options, yeah. So outside of the stuff that we just got done talking about, I really don't think there's much else that needs to be fixed with Genshin, outside of the fact that we need something rewarding. We need something that's going to keep us coming back. So the biggest things I want to take out of this is the rewardable stuff that we could make into Genshin Impact. Like, if you're going to spend this much time 100%ing an area, get an interactive map. You should have 240 resin to be able to use. You shouldn't cap condensed resin. You should be able to save as much as you want. We should have a simulated universe type of thing where we could play weekly and get weekly rewards, which is really, really cool. Toggleable constellations would be great, and giving me a reason to play co-op, like double artifacts when playing with companions for a week, or companionship level grants, whatever the heck, when you're playing like any type of mini game with your friends. I think that there's plenty of possibilities out there that would work in the favor of the players of Genshin Impact. But I don't know, what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this, and what are some of the things that you would like to see. And also, I definitely want to hear y'all's opinions, so let me know in the comments. Anyways, y'all, that's gonna be it today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and of course, as always, we will catch you in the next video. Please take care and be safe.